So my question is, if we are meant to be here in this world and there's so much sadness in the world, how can we find happiness in this world?
Okay, that's a very good question too. So there is a difference in the Bible, especially in the Old Testament, in the Hebrew language, between happiness and joy. I think in different translations, it's not that clear, but very, very clear in the Old Testament between joy and happiness. And there's a big difference actually. Happiness depends on circumstances. It's external. It's up and down. Depends on the situation and the circumstances that you're passing through, okay? Joy is internal and eternal. Internal and eternal. It's always there. Where the joy comes from, Nehemiah said in chapter 24, it's the power that's coming from the Lord. That joy comes from Him, and that's why it's internal and it's eternal. It's not based on circumstances or situations that happens. Now I'm good, now I'm passing through good times, so I'm happy. And sometimes, I'm not good and I have some crisis in my life. I'm not saying to cancel my mind, because this is gonna be like unreal. It's like you're faking your situation. So this is not what it meant. Of course, when I'm passing through a hard time in my life, when I got that result of, I got results that I have cancer, or someone in my family, a family member got his results or got cancer, or 12 o'clock in the day at lunchtime, we finished it, then my manager calls me to come to the office and I find out, you're laid off, sorry. Or 2 in the morning, I get the call, I'm so sorry, your dad passed away. These didn't happen to me, but I'm saying setting the expectation that things in this life might go wrong and we're not in the comfort zone here. That joy, my understanding that, okay, I'm not gonna cancel my mind, I'm passing through a hard time, but because the joy that the Lord gives keeps me strong. There are 2 occasions, one in the New Testament, one in the Old Testament actually talks about this, and both are beautiful. So I'm gonna clarify that meaning a bit more. The first one in Paul's saying in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 8 to 10. Okay, 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 8 to 10. Listen to what he's saying. Paul is saying, we are pressed on every side by troubles, but we're not crushed. It's a fact that we are perplexed, but not driven to despair. We are hunted down, but never abandoned by God. We get knocked down, but we're not destroyed. Through suffering, our bodies continue to share in the death of Jesus so that the life of Jesus may also be seen in our bodies. So he's not neglecting the facts that they are pressed on, they are crushed, they are perplexed, they are hunted down, they are knocked down. These are facts. It's very tough time they are passing through. And that time when he was talking about things, it's way harder than maybe many of us can pass through. This was really difficult time. At the same time, he's saying the other fact. Yes, we're saying a fact here, but at the same time, we have that kind of joy that's coming from the Lord. In the Old Testament, in Habakkuk, I don't know how many of you read Habakkuk. You should read it if you didn't yet. Habakkuk chapter 3, verse 17 to 19. Very strong verses saying, even though the fig trees have no blossoms and there are no grapes on the vines, even though the olive crop fails and the fields lie empty and barren, even though, watch this, even though the flocks die in the fields and the cattle barns are empty, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. It's coming from the joy that I was talking about. I will rejoice. I'm not going to wait for these things to change. I'm going to rejoice in the Lord. Why? Continue. I will be joyful in the God of my salvation. The sovereign Lord is my strength. Why? These things didn't change. You still have problems. He makes me as sure-footed as a deer, able to tread upon my heights. The heights are there. But he gave me this kind of ability to rejoice because I'm going over these. Him being in my ship doesn't get it sink. So yes, I might face problems and hard times, and that happiness might go up and down, but the joy will always overcome if I'm still really always be beside him, on his side. I want to encourage everybody, stick with the Lord. you might pass through hard times in your life because we get used to the comfort zone. Guys, I want to remind you, this is not the end. This is not where we should have all the happiness and the comfort, and everything should, like even in marketing, when you watch TV or any product that they try to sell you, you should be happy, you should be satisfied, you should live the perfect life. No, you're not. And that's why you get surprised when you get this call or this problem or that result or so on. Set the expectation that this is not the final destination. And we might face troubles, but having him in the boat makes it work. I also want to end with two verses actually, both in Matthew. I think the first one in Matthew 10, verse 39, okay? If you cling to your life, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for me, you will find it. That's what Jesus said. And also another one that's almost the same meaning in Matthew 16, verse 25. If you try to hang on to your life, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for my sake, you will save it. So these two verses in Matthew 10 and Matthew 16 tells me that you lose yourself. If you really want to find yourself, that purpose, that happiness, lose it for his sake. This is only when it's gonna happen, you're gonna find yourself. Not before, not with anything in this life. I find great joy knowing him and serving him. Like there are great things in this life we can enjoy. Food, friends, nature, vacation times, family, lots of stuff. But always understand that this is not the final destination and you might be in your discomfort zone sometimes, and only you will overcome these situations and these times with the joy that he gives you. Know him more, serve him more. Know him more and serve him more. Lose yourself for his sake, and then you will find yourself.
This also reminds me of the verse in James 1 where it says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, when you face trials of many kinds, for testing of your faith produces perseverance." And it makes me think about how the trials that you face make you stronger, but they also serve a purpose, not just through you, but onto others as well. Very true. Very true.
You know, speaking of that, one of the tough times were actually at the beginning of the church. Before Constantine was the emperor, 313 AD. Before that, and that was like the time that he decriminalized Christianity, and that was good time for Christians to practice Christianity. But before him, right before him, it was Diocletian, the emperor, and that was really very hard time, the most time of persecution over Christians. At that time, there was something called the nebulous peace, if I pronounce this properly. That nebulous peace, it's kind of like a paper. If you have it, only if you have it, you can buy and sell. And if you don't have it, you cannot buy and sell. And only you can have it when you say that Diocletian is Lord. So many Christians, of course, they didn't bow to this kind of saying, and they didn't have that peace, and of course they couldn't buy and sell anything, and they died. It was really tough time on Christians. These trials that James talked about, it shaped your character, and because of the joy that he gives, it let me overcome, it helps me overcome the tough times, because there'll be times in my life, there'll be troubles, there'll be challenges, I will face obstacles. Just being close to him, lose myself for him, getting him all the way with me, that joy makes the whole thing different. And speaking of that, there is a great song you were playing before we start filming, so I want you to please play that song if you don't mind.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, beautiful child, you want good things that I want you to have, but I won't send you out unprepared. So trust that I'm not just wasting your time. There's so much more that I want for you. But your dreams are far too small Do you think that I'd forsake the one I saved? I hear your prayers and I say, wait. You keep jumping the gun, and then you have to get up and run back to me. It might seem like I'm holding you back from what would make your joy complete, but you'll find that joy in me. Do you think that I'd forsake the one I saved? I hear your prayers and I say, wait. And I'll come to your rescue, you just stay in my love. And when we meet face to face, I hope you'll see how your every move depended on my hand to guide you through. And my will for you is that you just believe. Do you think I held on back all the riches of my love when I sealed you as my son and guaranteed? With my spirit in your heart and my praise upon your lips, son, I'd love to take care of every need. There's so much more that I want for you, but your dreams are far too small. Do you think that I'd forsake the one I saved? I hear your prayers and I say, wait. There's so much more that I want for you, but your dreams are far too small. Do you think that I'd forsake the one I saved? I hear your prayers and I say, wait.
Amen. Amen.